One of the foremost Western Buddhist meditation teachers, my old job, and the author of Awakening the Buddhist Heart, Lama, Surya. Lama. Oh. How are you?
I know you were
I was expecting flowing robes and stuff. Okay, he is a self-described roughneck oilman and southern gentleman who cusses too much. He's also a big-time country star. I bet you he is not disappointed me in wearing his big hat. He did. Trace Adkins, yes. See? All right. Hey. He wore his big hat. You couldn't have worn a robe. She's one of the fine stars of PAX TV's Mysterious Ways, Tuesdays at 8, and her movie, The Visit, opens April 20th. Ray Dawn Chong. Hey. And she is a singer, an actress, a comedian. Her new cosmetic line, Vicki Lawrence Cosmetics, is available in June on the Home Shopping Channel. Our buddy Vicki Lawrence. Yeah. How are you? Okay. All right. So we have. Now this is your break. I was kidding you. I don't mean to put you down there, Lama.
No way.
But right. So we thought we'd talk. You're a former oil man, and you're one of the foremost lamas.
And you're just oily, right?
Yeah. I want to talk about
Great way to haul your oil up the mountain.
Yeah. Let's talk about this.
It works, the Sherpa.
Have you read about this Unimog vehicle? This is like the biggest SUV ever. It's 3 feet taller than the Chevy Suburban. It weighs 6 tons. It was used for 50 years in Germany to hold troops. Germany, hold troops? Weird. Okay, anyway, the brochure says, you don't need roads when you can make your own.
It's evil. It's evil. I'm sorry, I'm not the one.
No, please.
It's evil.
I think it's evil.
Aren't we having an oil crisis? Aren't oil prices going up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be.
It's pretty crazy.
That's our own fault.
But the crisis is that we continue to use oil and believe in oil. That's the problem.
We have to.
We don't have to.
No, we don't.
Well, see, we do.
But now, if you live in California, you can't drive an electric car because it would never be running.
That's right.
Good point.
That's right.
Sorry, you're grounded.
And
What the hell are you going to do, Bill?
you can't take a bus because they take too long to get here in L.A. I mean, we're in trouble. Why do you think we're not having an oil crisis?
Well, I said it. I didn't say we weren't having one. I said it's our own fault that we are having one. I believe we have just untapped millions of barrels of oil reserves within our own borders that we could be using, and we don't try to get them out. We don't try to use them.
So we're going to destroy the environment. I think the cars are too big already, and they're dangerous. And I'm a big guy like you. I like a big car as much as anybody.
Me too.
But these cars are just getting bigger and bigger. I think we should just have one car as big as the whole world, and then we won't need any oil to move it.
But there's also the issue of roads. We pave too many roads in America.
Wait a second. The llama likes a big car? What the hell is going on here?
We
don't need any
What kind of a llama are you?
An American one.
Let me get you a steak. Anyway,
Then what does this thing get? Like 10 miles to the gallon?
10 miles to the gallon.
Here's the thing that is
That's
incredible
evil.
to me. I really think, and I know we're all driving SUVs, and I know
I'm
we all
not
love
driving
them.
an SUV.
Okay, but a lot of us are. Isn't it up to the automobile makers to come out with that efficient stuff and sort of give that as an alternative to us and tell us that that's a cool car and it's like that's the Motor Trend car of the year?
Are we retarded? I mean, we're the ones that make the decision. The oil company looks to us and says, what do we buy?
But what I'm saying is they have all kinds of wonderful technology. Where they know how to build more efficient engines. They know they could be doing a fabulous electric car.
But we buy
making it
these
available.
cars, so they only make what we
really
buy.
choices for us, Ray, Don.
But Vicki,
Ray,
they're
Ray,
big
Ray,
business.
The oil industry won't let us have electric cars. This goes back 40 or 50 years.
I'll tell you what. I just helped
technology.
open the last leg of the red line that opened here in L.A.
The subway, yeah.
Yeah, the subway. which is
Which
absolutely
doesn't go to the
beautiful.
airport, doesn't work.
Not yet, but here's the thing. Before you were born, when you were a
Shouldn't
tiny,
be here
tiny little
anyway. You
thing
have
in your-
earthquakes. I wouldn't even get in a tunnel.
You know what? Okay, no, wait.
He's right.
Wait.
Chase, you're right.
The BART system up in San Francisco is such a beautifully efficient, magnificent thing built by
Right.
the Army Corps of Engineers. It doesn't break down in an earthquake. I mean, it's a fabulous, wonderful thing. Did you know that California, L.A., had miles and miles, thousands of miles of electrical system way back when?
In
Yes.
the 70s,
I only learned
'70s,
this.
and they ripped it up.
No, even
way
you're
before
talking
the
about the
70s,
20s and the
yeah.
30s.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
And
You
there's
could go to
books
the-
about it.
you
It
could
was
go
a
from the beach to
huge
the mountains to the-
conspiracy from the oil companies. The oil companies didn't want mass transit
That's
here.
right.
I
They
know.
wanted cars to
That's
make
right.
money. They don't
And
care
they
if
bought
the-
up the line,
But
and they
it's not
dismantled
OPEC.
it slowly and said a car for every man and a man
Exactly.
for every car. Yeah.
But it's not OPEC who decides this. It's Detroit, and it's the Detroit lobby.
It's the car
And
industry.
it's not.
Right.
It's not the Detroit lobby that tells us what to buy. It's us that buys what Detroit offers.
But it's also that we have an oil man and his heart-ridden oil man friend in the White House.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah! Oh my God!
You know something? But, you know, whatever. You know, this
Right, like that's going to bother him.
Step on you.
Right.
this 10-foot, this
He's gonna
10-foot,
ride over you with a mog.
this 10-foot tall, 20-foot long mog is
Yeah.
not even, I mean, who's going to buy that? Where are you going to park
Oh,
it?
Christ,
You gotta
everybody in L.A. will buy one. They'll be
Where are
lining
you going
up.
to park it at?
Oh, everybody in L.A.
Not the
will.
mall.
I mean,
It
who
won't
needs
fit in.
that? I mean, the Partridge Family or somebody, but I mean, other than that, you know, I don't think this is going to go over well.
Oh,
I mean, that's
I
going too
disagree.
far.
Here in the disposable state, I think everybody
Yeah.
with money will be lining up and
Right.
they'll be marking them how much
Arnold
above list.
Schwarzenegger bought a Humvee,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then
And you
every
can-
other had to have one.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Now, people are going
You
to
know
buy
what?
it,
Nobody
Trace.
ever
Come on.
survived an accident with a Humvee.
Really?
People are gonna-
Statistically, it is the killer of the
Really?
road. Excuse me, Lama.
People-
And a
Or
friend of mine
SUVs.
bought a Humvee too, and like 6 months later was sitting on a used car lot. He didn't like it. I mean, the thing's not practical. It's so wide, you can't park it. You can't. I mean, you know,
Sure,
unless
but
you live on a ranch.
People are going to buy it because it's the biggest thing as a replacement for you know what.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Big
saying.
and
Here
beautiful,
in
at
L.A.,
least with
the
men.
Wagon Show City, everybody will be lining up.
That's
Lama?
not true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and
What?
when-
No, now the llama's doing jokes. What's with a llama? It's the most
What do they do after the Somalia?
modern
You know,
llama.
I drive a big truck, you know, 3/4 ton,
Trace,
handicap
what does that
drive
say about
truck.
you?
What's it say?
8,500 pounds of badass truck, and I ain't ever had no complaints about that other
But your
stuff.
point
But Trace, now I read that this vehicle weighs 6 tons. It said the same as Tyrannosaurus Rex. Don't you think there's some don't you think there's some irony in the fact that dinosaurs became extinct because their climate changed, and we're taking the oil which comes from dead dinosaurs to change our planet, which will make us extinct? Don't you think that's a little joke from God?
It is a joke from God. Here, yeah. Not to mention the weather's changing and we're suffering. I mean, look at the weather in general all around the planet, and
Right.
it is from fossil fuel. It is from our pollution. So it's interesting that the cars keep getting as big as Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It depends on which scientist you talk to as to whether fossil fuel, combustible fuels are causing all that stuff or not. But I mean, the fact is,
We have
I grew
no
up in an
oil.
area of the country that the economy in my home state of Louisiana for many, many years was based on the oil industry. And I mean,
Tabasco.
yeah, and crawfish.
Right. And beads.
Yeah, and Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
I got to take a break. We'll be back. Dick Cheney was released from the hospital. Whew. Cheney said he realizes that these trips to the hospital are not really instilling public confidence in his health, but on the upside, if he gets his card punched one more time, the next heart attack is free.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, brought to you.
Jennifer Lopez starting her own clothing line. It's going to be called Accessories After the Fact, and it is designed to avoid social embarrassments, like when your date pulls out a gun and it doesn't match your dress. You know, Lama, I understand from the Eastern religion, I hope this is still true, that you think maybe we're reincarnated from other creatures, right? And we could go back?
Know.
You never know. Okay, great. And you know I'm an animal lover. Well, there's two big stories in the news lately about a person who lost their dog. One, the neighbor, an off-duty cop, shot the dog. Another one, the dog was killed by a faulty prescription from the veterinarian. And these people are suing. They're saying, we want more than just the property value. That's what animals are now. They're just property value. You lose your dog, you get $60 for it, because that's what you pay, just like it's a chair. And they're saying, no, this is my family. This is a companion animal, and I deserve more. So...
Who turned that into a big story?
What? Well, actually, animal law is becoming a much bigger story and a much bigger part of law in America.
Animal rights is a huge issue today.
Yes.
I think it's an important one. As a Buddhist, and half the world, I think, believes in this, at least the Orientals, that animals also have the spirit or the soul, that all beings are endowed with the inner light, let's say, not just human beings. And I think we need to respect that. I'm not a big in favor of lawsuits and things like that, but I don't think they're just furniture. Do you have any pets? I have a big white sheepdog about this big, and she's one of the great loves of my life.
I've always had
It's not
pets.
like
Right
furniture.
now, I don't have one, but I'm like in between pets. But, you know...
In between pets.
Yeah.
Single.
But,
Well, you got to get over the last one before you can move on.
I've kind of got a pet. I got a 3-year-old daughter, and when she's in my yard playing, and your dog comes in my yard, and I don't know this dog, he's fair game. I figure. I mean, you know, I don't. You know what I'm saying? You know,
So
if you're going to be a pet owner, you need to be a responsible pet owner. And if your pet's over, you know, soiling somebody's stoop in front of their house, you know, then
Kill it?
well, I
I think
mean,
that's why we need a little more gun control. What do you think about that?
no,
I don't
that
think
got
we should
nothing to
be
do with
shooting.
gun control.
I don't think we could be shooting animals because they're soiling the stoop. That's a matter of life and death.
Well, if
there.
my child's playing in the yard and there's a dog comes up and I don't know this dog, you know, I don't know what the circumstances were behind this police officer. Maybe this dog was about to attack this guy. I don't know. Do you?
Yes. Well, she said...
By God, you better know, buddy.
She says that the dog was just coming over and sniffing another dog. Sniffing his dog.
But the point is that
But it
the
was a
dog is
Rottweiler.
someone's child. I mean, the issue is emotions, and some people think that their animals or love their animals as much as children.
Oh, I've
So
always
if
loved
a
my
police
pets.
officer shoots your child, you're going to go after that police officer. And the question is it worth being litigious about it? Because some people do treat their animals like children. So I know that if a
But
police
they're
officer...
not. But they're not. They're
But
not
to some
children.
people,
They're
they
not human
are.
beings. Oh, well, those people are kind of
Well,
wacky.
they're better than human beings. Oh, my God.
To you they are. You love your
Now, wait a minute.
I do.
Your daughter is 3 years old?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you, wait till she's a teenager. Dogs behave much better.
I have one of those.
Much better.
I have one of those. I have one of those
They
too.
mind. They're wonderful. They love you. They're saying now that they're psychic. They know you're coming home before
I have
you
one
do.
of those too, and I treat her
What?
the same way I do my pets. I keep her locked up where she can't, you know.
I think that's another issue.
No, that's not true, but I do have a teenager, and I know what you mean.
Okay, but now we have a neighbor. We have a neighbor, responsible dog owner. He was walking his Dalmatian one day. Somebody had the Rottweiler off the leash. The dog came out onto the sidewalk and nearly killed the Dalmatian. Now, had he actually managed to finish off that Dalmatian, does this neighbor not have the right to sue for emotional damage in that case? Isn't that kind of what you're saying?
I mean...
But it's dog to dog.
and
Yeah, that's dog...
That was dog eat dog.
Dog to
right
dog.
there.
Okay, I got to take a break. We'll be right back. President Clinton still dominating the news. Listen to this. Employees at Barney's said they saw him there in the store. He was buying ties. He bought $400 worth of very loud ties they couldn't even sell to tourists. Clinton said he likes his ties eye-catching because nothing turns him on more than when the intern looks up. Okay. All right. We have the Lama here. Now, well, we rarely get a Lama on our panel. Oh, thank you. And I know you consider missionary work violent, not good. And I agree. Something caught my eye when you talked about this, because in the paper the other day there was a story about there was an earthquake in El Salvador about a month ago, and one of the groups that went down there, the missionary group, it turns out that they're basically making a deal, like all missionaries do. It's like, you want the food, you want the shelter, watch this movie about Jesus first. And, you know, missionaries, I agree, they're not do-gooders. They're aggressive salesmen signing up new customers. They have an agenda, and let's hit those bitches where they live.
But when you're starving,
you know what? You and all these young men up here should go down there with duct tape on your mouth, and you do the work down there, honey. If you're down there helping people that have been in a catastrophe...
With strings attached.
Exactly.
Would you have no strings attached if you went down there to help people? Would you not talk to them a little bit about...
What?
Something?
No.
Your feelings on life?
They had an earthquake?
But it's a matter of degree, and not all things are given with strings unattached. In fact, I don't think we do anything with strings unattached, really. So it's a matter of degree. And a lot of missionaries do a lot of beautiful work. So I think it's a matter of looking into our own motivation.
Hey, Lama, I was defending you on this. Now you're flipping on me, babe.
I'm not flipping. And even Mother Teresa, who's one of the great saints, I think, and miracle workers in the social action field of our time, has been accused of this kind of mixed motivation in her mission. So it's a little complex when you get out there in the field and you live in the developing countries. It's a little complex. And naturally we share our views as well as our beneficence. It just comes natural. There's no way out of it. But the more aware we are of it, the more honest we can be.
But these
down
guys
there talking about the Playboy Mansion.
But even then, that's a religion. But these guys are holding the people hostage. He's saying,
yes,
you're coming in, you're starving, your family's just been wiped out, and you're hungry. Sure, I'll be a Mormon if it means that I can feed myself for another week. That is a little...
At the most vulnerable moments in their life, they're coming in with a can of SpaghettiOs. Wait a second.
Touch this Bible.
You know, I mean, the earthquake just happened, so they come in, they go, you know what, your God sucks. Look what he just did. Maybe you'd like to sign up with us. It's right here in the New York Times.
They don't get the SpaghettiOs till after they find out.
Exactly. They had to look at a movie about Jesus and go to a prayer meeting.
And but does it say before or after the SpaghettiOs?
Okay, it was appetizers, but nonetheless, they had
dinner and a movie. There's nothing wrong with
Somebody's
that.
down there trying to help people.
They're down there helping.
Sell them a vacuum cleaner. What difference? They're not trying to recruit them to be in porn flicks, or I mean, they're trying to help these people out and everything.
It's questionable, but still, nonetheless, it's not the mission of God to help people. Right? Isn't that the idea of a missionary? It's to help people?
Yeah.
Yes.
And not necessarily to take tallies or to... There's a funding... Isn't there a program going on right now where the question is whether or not missionaries do good work?
Well, they do good work, but at a price.
There are always bad apples.
Isn't the devil the guy who asks for your soul
in return?
In return. Isn't that the whole thing?
Let's keep things in perspective, Phil.
Thank you, one guy.
We'll get him later.
Yeah.
The one guy.
I think keep things in perspective. How long was the movie that they watched? Maybe a half an hour. But how long are those missionaries down there even risking their lives and dedicating their time?
And how
years, months?
Some of that might be good for them.
I don't know. There's a lot of argument about the Catholic Church missionaries doing a lot of irreversible damage. That could be questionable, not to just pick on the Catholic Church, but one would question the motive of the Catholic Church just as one of the groups as to was their motive to save souls or was it to fill the Vatican with very beautiful treasures?
Well, that's a good... I'm a Buddhist. And Buddhism is not a missionaryizing religion. And the Dalai Lama always teaches us as Buddhist teachers to contribute to others, not convert others. And I think that's an important message for today. That's why I've written my books. And I think that a lot of missionaryizing is somewhat violent. It's aggressive to the culture and the beliefs of the people. The indigenous culture that it's invading, actually, and trying to colonialize.
Right. Thank you. Lama.
Speaking as,
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Join us tomorrow when
All right, tomorrow, Kathy Moriarty, Holly Robinson Peete, David Draymond, and Neil Lawrence. Thank you.